Welcome everybody, my name is Michael and today we are discussing about Satoshi Nakamoto, the founder and creator of Bitcoin, who is supposedly one of the world's richest men, women, groups, organizations, government actors. We don't even know if he's alive or she or they. It's possible that this was a government project. It's possible that they are alive, the members, the individual. For simplistic terms, let's just say it's a he. Based on the evidence we have of Satoshi Nakamoto, most likely, if he is still alive today, we don't know the full amount of Bitcoin that he would have, whether that's 980,000 as some articles estimate at. Many say 1 million Bitcoin currently, but where did this number come from? We're going to be discussing about that in today's video as well. I think it's below 1 million Bitcoin, and a lot of people from Bitcoin Talk, the forum where Satoshi Nakamoto did indeed have an account on and was one of the first Bitcoin forums, a lot of people looked at the evidence and nobody really knows all of the wallets that Satoshi has. We can only estimate which wallets might belong to him, but some of the wallets might belong to other people who are associated with Satoshi at the time of Bitcoin's creation and the months following the first Bitcoin markets and all of that in 2009, 2010, and 2011, and some of the first miners. But just to make things simple, let's say he had 1 million Bitcoin, which even with the current market crash, which I think is a pretty big correction, but a correction nonetheless, it'll return. We did hit almost $65,000. So let's take a look at the Forbes rich list. If Satoshi did indeed have 1 million Bitcoin, and with the current prices over $50,000, that would mean he'd be in the top 25. And this is 2021 Forbes real-time billionaires rich list. So let's just say he had $50 billion. He would be around here. Now, if we take a look at where Bitcoin was at $64,800, with 1 million Bitcoin, Satoshi Nakamoto would be the 17th world's richest individual, right behind Alice Walton and in front of Jim Walton. That is right. Now, of course, he would fall back down. And for the past few days, he'd be around Mackenzie Scott and between Michael Dell, somewhere around here. Now, with Bitcoin, even when it fell down to $48,000, with 1 million Bitcoin, he would still be in the top 25. But let's just say, using one of the most recent prices we have, let's just say he had 980,000. So that would be $48.43 billion. Using the current price on Google, it states 49,419.70. Obviously, the price is constantly changing. So let's check out TradingView, what is at currently. 49,430.19. There we go. On Binance, it's 49,500. So even with 980,000 Bitcoin, he would fall a little bit. Oh, looks like we've got many people very, very close to one another. But he would be around Jack Ma's position. So even though the pandemic has caused many billionaires' fortunes to suddenly rise up, we've had plenty of new billionaires come out of China due to vaccines, a lot of new hedge funds, a lot of new technologies. Cryptocurrency has also created many new billionaires. So even though Satoshi Nakamoto, his Bitcoins, it's as good as if they didn't exist, since they've never been used and they're most likely never going to be sold. And especially if he's locked out, which that's probably not the case. Although with many wallets, maybe he's locked out of a couple. Or if he's dead and nobody else has access to those Bitcoins. As we all know, there's plenty of cases besides Satoshi Nakamoto where there's millions and millions or even potentially billions of dollars just sitting in wallets. Well, now let's take a look at Bitcoin's rich list. Unlike with Dogecoin, where we just saw one massive wallet that was potentially an individual who had even more money than the number one Bitcoin wallet. Of course, now with Dogecoin's fall, it's probably around there. Yeah, it's crazy that this individual didn't sell. It was over $20 billion. But look at that. The number one richest in Dogecoin, a meme coin, has $8.24 billion in a single wallet. And that's more than anybody has in a singular Bitcoin wallet. Of course, many people have many Bitcoin wallets because they want to remain anonymous, just as Satoshi Nakamoto wanted to remain anonymous and he made plenty of wallets. And other people are also doing it for the security aspect, where if they were to be kidnapped, if they were to get locked out, if their wallet would get hacked, whatever, they don't want to have their entire life fortune sitting on one wallet, right? Just as you probably have 5 bank cards, you use different companies, people use different wallets as well. So the number one wallet isn't an individual because it's a cold wallet. It's from Binance. And then the number 2 is Huobi. So we can see that $8.1 billion worth of Bitcoin, 165,427 BTC is just sitting in a cold wallet, because every exchange has to have a cold wallet and a hot wallet. The hot wallet would be used obviously for trading. The cold wallet is there just in case. It's a backup if anything were to happen. If they need more money, they withdraw it from the cold wallet. The hot wallet should never exceed the amount that they have in the cold wallet. Correct me if I'm wrong though. Now, of course, this is just their Bitcoin wallet. They have BNB in this case, their own token. They have Ethereum, they have Dogecoin, they have a lot of other coins. So $8 billion for a singular exchange is quite a bit, but we can see and understand why Satoshi Nakamoto's number one wallet isn't on here, because we don't even know which wallet it is. We can figure out which wallets are from exchanges. As you can see, OKX and Bitfinex are down there, but the wallets with no information whatsoever, one of these could potentially be Satoshi Nakamoto's. One of them is probably from the Winklevoss twins. Probably another one is from MicroStrategy, and another one from other billionaires that invest into cryptocurrency. So as you can see, the number one wallet has 165,000 Bitcoin, but that's nowhere close to 1 million. Satoshi Nakamoto didn't have 2 wallets, didn't have 3, probably had many as the creator of it. I mean, back then Bitcoin wasn't worth anything. He gave it value, so why wouldn't you have hundreds of wallets if you're the very own creator, for testing, for giving away to other individuals, for sending, for having fun, experiments, right? There's only a few wallets, 3 that have over 100,000, and 2 of those are exchanges. And in the top 10, you have half of these wallets belonging to cold wallets from exchanges, and the other 5 mystery billionaires. Now, using current Bitcoin values, of course, since we did drop, there was more billionaires, excluding any wallet that says cold wallet or that it's a wallet of an exchange. In total, we have 41 wallets. The 42nd one is very close to $1 billion, but it's not quite there. 41 wallets that have over 20,499 Bitcoin, which is currently over $1,006,000,000, and that's number 41. But excluding the cold wallets, Kraken, OKX, another Kraken, another OKX, another Binance, Coincheck, Bitrex, OKX, Bitfinex, OKX, Huobi and Binance, that's 12 wallets. So 41 minus 12, you get the number of billionaires. 29 potential billionaires. But if I was a billionaire, maybe I'd have 2 wallets that are billionaires. So to give the benefit of the doubt, let's just say that there's 28 billionaires. But there was more because Bitcoin's price dropped. So if we look at other wallets, it's possible that an additional 10 to 15 billionaires dropped from their billionaire status due to Bitcoin's drop. Now, if Bitcoin does go up to $100,000 later this year, we're going to have over 100 people who are actually going to be billionaires, and a fair amount of them are going to be on the Forbes rich list. We know who some of them are. Many are either involved with the exchanges, such as the exchange owners, the exchange executives, or they're early investors in Bitcoin. And on 1 or 2 occasions, there is a billionaire that made his fortune from something else, and he decided to buy hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. So it's not like he was added to the Forbes rich list regardless. Now, we can find out one of Satoshi Nakamoto's wallets for certain. Here, using blockchain.com, we see one of the original wallets with 68.384 BTC, currently valued at almost $3.4 million. If we go to bitcointalk.org, there's many discussions about this. One of them is Satoshi Nakamoto holds 980,000 Bitcoin. Does anyone know the addresses? And the first one is the Genesis block wallet, where it was the first block award address. That's the one with $3.4 million. Another link on this forum redirected to here, where it's possible we got the 1 million Bitcoins, 980,000 Bitcoins from. So somebody went through and estimated that Satoshi's fortune is around 1 million Bitcoins. So he decided to put them on a graph. This is Satoshi right here. The vertical lines in the graph below were added by me to show when the mining application is restarted approximately every 100 hours, probably to back up the wallet. Red pixels are spent Coinbases, black pixels are unspent Coinbases. A single computer solved most of the blocks, probably worth 1 million BTC, 100 million US dollars at 100 USD per Bitcoin. This was from a while ago. Oh man, started mining at block 0 with almost unchanged performance. These Bitcoins have never been spent as of October 2012. The assumptions made in 2012 though, I only take into account Coinbase transactions. I've assumed that if a Coinbase output is spent, then none of the spent coins went back to Satoshi. I use the file bootstrap dat. I assume that bootstrap dat contains only the best chain, not orphan blocks. Note that from the 1,814,400 Bitcoin awarded, 1,148,800 Bitcoin has never been spent, around 63%. I suppose, but I've not checked it yet, that these are exactly the segments that belong to the mystery entity. So a lot of media outlets picked up on that and they're saying, oh, Satoshi has over 1 million Bitcoins. Some picked up on the percentage that he has over 5% of the total Bitcoins that were available, and they're picking percentages out of, where. Nobody knows the exact amount of Bitcoin Satoshi does have. But it's estimated that at worst case scenario, it's potentially possible that he has hundreds of thousands of Bitcoin. The reason being, even if 1 million Bitcoin belonged to him, at the beginning he was sending Bitcoin to other people that were around him, such as Hal Finney and other people who were playing around and experimenting with Bitcoin. So it's not fair to assume that all 100% of the original unspent addresses are belonging to him. It is fair to assume that 80 to 90% of the addresses are probably belonging to him, and 10 to 20% are probably to other early players with Bitcoin. So these addresses date all the way back to the beginning of Bitcoin back in 2009, where there wasn't that many people involved with Bitcoin. Over the years, many Bitcoins have been moved from the original addresses, leading many to speculate whether it was Satoshi every single time there was movement, even though there were some other miners active. Thus far, analysis has shown that each of these transactions has most likely not been from Satoshi addresses, and that his Bitcoin stash is still dormant. On May 21st, 2020, a Twitter account called Whale Alert said $391,055, around 40 Bitcoin has transferred from possible Satoshi-owned wallet. It was dormant since 2009, 11 years, and suddenly $391,000 was transferred. It wasn't that much at the end, though. The coins in this transaction were mined in the first month of Bitcoin's existence. This immediately caused a ripple on Twitter. People were asked to participate in a poll whether they believed this was bullish or bearish for Bitcoin, or whether it would not really have an effect. And a day later, 34% answered with bullish, 35.6% said it was neutral, and 30% said it was bearish. Even though there were indicators that said it wasn't Satoshi, many Twitter users did believe that possibly it's Satoshi, and if it is him, why is he selling? Is he bearish on Bitcoin? Is he dumping his Bitcoin holdings? Come on, it's $300,000 compared to billions of dollars, really? So there's fear and uncertainty, as with all rumors in the cryptocurrency world, and Bitcoin fell by 4% in its total value that day. The markets were volatile, but many experts claim that Satoshi still has his original Bitcoins. It's probably a few 100,000, but it's got the potential to be at 900,000, at 980,000, maybe even 1 million Bitcoin. It could be 10 addresses, it could be 100 addresses, it could be 200. We have no idea how much. But one thing is known for certain. This amount of Bitcoins would definitely make huge waves across the entire crypto sphere, and all markets would recognize. If somebody's going to be dumping billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin, obviously that's going to crash the markets for a little bit. But no one who's actually smart is going to do that, because you wouldn't get full price when you're just dumping all of these huge amounts at the same time. So what we do know of Satoshi Nakamoto is, whether they're still alive or not, the Bitcoins most likely aren't going to be moved. Nakamoto claimed that he was a 37-year-old male that lived in Japan, so if that was the case in 2012, he would be approaching his 50s pretty soon. However, some speculated that he wasn't even Japanese. because of his native level of English. And there's plenty of people who said they were Satoshi Nakamoto, such as Craig Wright, which a lot of people think he's a scammer. And there's plenty of people who are accused of being Satoshi Nakamoto, such as Satoshi Nakamoto, who lived in California and just so happened to be an engineer. But he has denied all of this. Some people claim that it was Laszlo Hanyecz, one of the early people involved with Nakamoto. Some people claim it was Hal Finney. Hal Finney is dead, as we know. What was also noted was the time of the post, where in Greenwich Mean Time it was between 5 a.m. and 11 a.m., which would mean 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. in Japanese time. And there were over 500 posts on Bitcoin Talk from Satoshi Nakamoto. So we would assume that the person who's typing this is not living in Japan, because that's a pretty unusual sleep schedule where he wouldn't post between 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. But possible identities, as stated, was Dorian Satoshi Nakamoto, Hal Finney, another one was Nick Szabo, Craig Wright, other candidates such as Gavin Anderson, Joshua Davis, Japanese mathematician Shinichi Mochizoku, Paul LaRue, Elon Musk. I mean, there's been a lot over the years. But all we know is Satoshi is still anonymous, the Bitcoins haven't been moved, and that's today's video. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, hit that subscribe button. Please leave a like, comment down your opinion below, and we shall see you guys tomorrow.